I remember the day I decided enough was enough. After years of endless arguments, emotional manipulation, and a marriage that felt more like a prison than a partnership, we were getting a divorce. The thought alone was liberating, but the reality was far more complicated. My soon-to-be ex-wife, F34, was hell-bent on making this as difficult and financially draining for me as possible. It was clear. She wasn't just after a fair settlement. She wanted to ruin me. So I, M36, concocted a plan. It was simple, yet it required patience and a bit of acting. I had been a software engineer, making a comfortable six-figure salary, while she bounced between part-time jobs, never really contributing to our financial pool. Knowing she would go after every penny she could, I started my act. I quit my job, citing burnout and the need for a sabbatical, which wasn't entirely false. The high-pressure environment had been getting to me, and the divorce was the final straw. I liquidated my assets, sold our shared stocks, and even got rid of the fancy car she loved so much but hardly drove. I moved the money into various accounts and investments she didn't know about. To the world, and more importantly to her in the court, I was broke, living off savings and odd jobs. I took up freelancing, enough to keep me afloat, but not enough to trigger substantial alimony payments. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, she grew increasingly frustrated. Her lawyer was aggressive, sure that I was hiding assets. They were half right. I had made sure everything was legal, albeit ethically questionable. I attended every court date, every mediation session with a calm demeanor, portraying the image of a man who had lost everything due to the divorce. In the end, the settlement was minimal. She got the house, which I had made sure was mortgaged to the hilt and not worth the trouble. Alimony was set based on my current income, which was a fraction of what I used to make. She was livid, accusing me of deception and fraud, but there was nothing she could do. The court had made its decision based on the information available. The day the divorce was finalized was the day I started picking up the pieces of my life. I gradually moved my finances back, taking on more substantial projects and eventually returning to full-time work. I had protected my assets from someone who had sought to take everything from me out of spite, not need. Looking back, I sometimes wonder if I went too far. But then I remember the years of manipulation, the threats, and the sheer malice she had shown during the divorce. It was a game of survival, and I did what I had to do to protect myself and my future. Revenge? Perhaps. But in my eyes, it was justice. A way to break free from someone who